Hello, friends. Caffeine update number 3. It'll be 4 weeks in 2 days, 1 day. So here's the gist. My body filled out. My blood circulation is a little better in the smaller, tiny capillary veins, skin, sexual organ. Wink, wink. This is something that I'm thinking about with the depression that I'm having at the moment, which is ongoing, not good. I've brought down my alcohol. Depression's still there. Anxiety, still there. Mood swings, still there. An all around unhappy feeling. Last night I was laying in bed, going to sleep, and I was experiencing 100% apathy. And I'm going through thoughts, and I'm going through things that I generally care about. And I'm saying to myself, why do I care about that? Why do I care about that? So, right now, my mood is depression, a low. I've been riding my bike probably about 30 to 40 minutes every day, still lifting weights. I lift weights on one day, and then on another day of the week, I'll do a lighter weight, resistant band, stretching thing for the muscles, for the body. There's a lot of things that I do for my body, and still my mind isn't there. I turned off the lights so that way the birds will calm down, so I can get this message across. Forgive me, you're not going to be able to see me. It's basically, this is what I'm considering, is that one of the main reasons, and I've said this in other videos, one of the main reasons for depression and mood swings has to do with electrolytes and issues with that in the brain. Exactly what it is, I do not know. I've gone over a lot of things in the last 14 years, 15 years, very heavily towards the electrolyte situation for the last at least 10 years. I'm saying that the reason that I've been taking in caffeine and taking in coffee very heavily for the last 3 or 4 years has been for a diuretic effect to deplete potassium, calcium, mainly potassium. So every time you eat something, bananas, oatmeal, whatever, it's going to have potassium in it. Every time you drink stuff, it's going to have potassium in it. And every time you have anything that has chemicals in it, it's going to be potassium sorbate, potassium, altered minerals, and that's going to take that up even further. It's going to make it more of an issue. If I go back to drinking coffee, which I'm really wanting to, so that way I can relieve the depression, it's one tool that I have among many for depression. Exercise, everything else. Hot baths, sauna, steam room, which all has to do with depleting minerals, electrolytes. If I do that, then I'm going to be going back to having less blood flow. So that's basically what I'm coming to here after all. And it takes a long time for the nervous system to heal. And I'll only know this if I stay away from it for months and months. So it's more apparent to me now that the only reason basically that I drink coffee or take in chocolate is just for relief from depression. And I drink the alcohol for relief from anxiety. And these things are too apparent, too obvious at this point. I've been looking at this for a long time, in my opinion. A long time. What is a long time? Years and years and years of going over something over and over and over again. That kind of seems to me as a long time. Especially when things are not really going in a way that takes away the depression or takes away the anxiety. It just doesn't ever go away. I feel pegged down in a way. Still, there's a way. There's always a way. There's always something out there that I can come across that'll have an effect on alleviating depression or anxiety. And for anyone out there that wants to say, oh, use prescription drugs. Well, for my particular case, my situation, my brain, my body, I've been there. And it's not for me, it doesn't do, it's ideal. And then when you do it for a while, then I realize that it'll have an effect in a way. And then the side effects and everything are getting in the way even more. And I'm so far out that I've got to bring myself back in. And with the miracle drugs, that's not the way that it's proposed. That's not the pretense. that is the ideal factor of, oh yeah, this will do you good, and yeah, and it's just a string along. So I carry on, you carry on. I take out the coffee, I take out the alcohol, I take out this, I take out that, and then there I am, still me, still going through these mental situations. And then the only change is with my body, not my brain, my body. I can get a little better with my gut, not completely. I can get better with my legs filled out. I take out the coffee, the chocolate, my legs filled out, my skin improved somewhat. And then I've been riding the bike for about 2 or 3 weeks now. And that long duration exercise improves the blood system, improves blood cardiovascular system. This is not a extreme workout. This is slow paced biking for about 30 to 45 minutes, maybe an hour, just riding around. And it has it makes me feel better in some ways, and I'm not getting better in other ways. And the more and more you do and stress your body so that way you can feel better, the more you're going to up the stress trauma of the depression factor. So if you're putting stress on your body, your depression's going to go up. Or at least that's the way it is for myself. I've read this with other people's experiences, that they are also saying that the more stress they put on their bodies in a physical way, the more their depression will be coming around. So at first, I was saying that the nervous system is possibly a reason for the depression being a situation. Absolutely. Still, there's other factors, and it's more apparent now. And I'm not getting away from my body bouncing back and forth in the moods where 2 hours from now I'm feeling a little zany, and then 2 hours later I'm feeling completely apathetic. So this is a puzzle and a half. Some people out there are going to possibly be watching this and they're going to say, okay, well, I have depression and I don't really have mood swings. Well, I don't know if I can really 100% relate to you, because that's not how I have lived my life. I live my life with mood swings. And I've had times where I've been up or manic for weeks, and my behavior has displayed a bipolar type, and the majority of my situation is more moody. You know, a seasonal depression or something like that. My depression is more sporadic, and it seems to be the background of my moods usually. So if I'm up lately, especially as I'm getting older or aging, I'm noticing that the depression is more and more of a background of my existence. So I could be a little bit manic, or I could be a lot manic, or I could be flying high, and still depression seems to be in the background. So I'm not thinking peace and love and flowers 24/7. So this is getting in the way of relationships, as always. And something that's got to be frustrating to others that experience similar things that I'm explaining here. You do 1,000 things to make things better, and you still go through the depression. I could be tip-top body. I can have my body pretty lean. I can have my muscle up. I can get down to the point where I have tone and shape of my muscles and be completely depressed. Absolutely depressed. I can get to the point where there's no tone, there's no shape. I'm just healthy. I know I'm healthy if I'm in a certain situation, with or without alcohol, with or without anything. And I'm still going through mood swings. I'm still going through a lot of heavy thinking, a lot of sporadic memories coming in, my mind jumping around, attention situations, not not being consistently real sharp with my brain, ending up where I'm, such as this last week, spacing big time, losing thought, not remembering anything. I mean, I can. It's in such a spin that I don't even remember what I did maybe 2 minutes ago. And that's not the situation all the time. 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, it's not going to be the situation. As far as my short-term memory goes, I've never really had one. I always have to write everything down. Everything. If something comes to mind, I have to write it down. Or else I'll be spending 45 minutes thinking about what I was thinking about and recalling. So caffeine is only one thing among many things that are probably put out there for us to screw us up. Overall, by now at 1 month, I'd say caffeine is not as brutal as I'd like to think that it is. I don't think that it is. I think it's something that has a grip on all of us. And since there's so much stuff put inside of our foods and our drinks, that's really is a necessity of life. So if you drink coffee or eat chocolate or take in Red Bulls or whatever, consider at a point, especially with the mood swings, how much is it doing for you up to a certain extent? Because everything has an extent of what it's doing for you, and then up above that, you're just banging yourself up. So for myself, what I was doing and what I was taking in was about maybe 1 tablespoon, a full tablespoon of ground coffee a day. And I had brought it down from probably about 3. So if you take a scoop with a scooper that's in it, a Folgers or whatever, I never drink that kind of stuff, pre-ground, put in your coffee machine, that's going to be quite a bit of caffeine, a lot. You add that up, if you have 2 cups a day, 3 cups a day, whatever it is, it's probably excess. So the same as salt, if you back off from the amount you use, your body will acclimate to that, and it will make good with less. And it will be the same as salt. If I take my salt down from X amount down 75%, that 25% will, at a week later, will taste as much salty as what I'd been taking in. So the body will acclimate, will get used to what you've been usually taking in, and then you're taking in less of something that's beating you up, basically. Same with caffeine. You can apply this to anything. With alcohol, if you're drinking a lot, you bring it down, your body will acclimate to that. So if you have, say you haven't been drinking very much, and then you have the same amount that you've been having before, maybe 3 weeks ago, then you'll get a little more lit. Your body's acclimating. It's not going to always respond the same to the same amounts all the time. You kind of got to be able to take that step, though, towards that. I understand there's anxiety that if you pull something away that you've been counting on, that you're not going to be able to hack it. And that's not really the situation. I say one of the first things you could do with the caffeine situation is take it out on a Friday and then go through the weekend. And then by Monday, you'll be cleared out a little bit. So at least if you can go without the caffeine for the weekend where you can just sleep in bed and just chill out for a little bit, that's probably a plus. And if there's anything that you can do to make yourself feel better during that time, that's probably a plus too. Hot tub, spa, if you have access to that. A massage, if you have access to that. If not, just do some stretching. I say, in my opinion, some stretching, just clear out the muscles. Do a little bit of light exercise so that way you can clear out the muscles. That's my tip. So that's pretty much my 4-week update on caffeine, plus also bringing alcohol down. And depression is still there. Even probably in some ways worse, and then all the health things where you feel bogged down on the health way, that's better. So add that up however you will, because there's always something, there's always give and take. So there's always that difference in that feeling that you have when you've been exercising and you still have depression, or you haven't been exercising and you have depression and you're sitting there thinking about taking your life. That's much, much different. That's the body being in a very low situation condition-wise. It's not healthy. Also, the depression is there, so there's the stress, the physical trauma stress, there's the emotional trauma, there's the emotional stress, there's the substances that are stressing your body, breaking your body down. So there's different layers to this depression. There's different layers to the anxiety to consider. Always. And some of us will get through these hoops and some of us won't. And those people will take their lives at a younger age. And some of us will carry on into an older, deprecating age, which is depressing in itself. So that's my update. Take care, everyone. Love all you can. Be as peaceful as you can. And I'll be back for another video here pretty soon. Take care.